you guys, it's Day Day. Let's talk about Atlanta briefly, just briefly. Um, you guys, how can you not like Portia after last night? Um, she is just so happy and giddy and in love. She's just laughing and gallipanting that big ass and that long weave and the titties, and it's a lot, but it's nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's giving us a lot, but it's all wrapped nicely in a nice package. I was enjoying looking at her. I was enjoying myself. Y'all, I just like seeing people happy. She seemed really happy to me. Um, she's in love. I know it's only been 5 months, but if she likes it and he likes it, then I love it. You know what I'm saying? Who am I? Who am I to judge them for only dating 5 months and looking at engagement rings already? I'm not going to judge them. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking at engagement rings. There's no budget. You know, Dennis McKinley, he is definitely an entrepreneur. He sells hot dogs. He has weave and clothing lines and all this kind of stuff. And he's not a bad looking dude. Now some might say that Portia can do better than him. But let me remind you guys that he's an entrepreneur and he got that money, he got that bread. So, money makes up where looks lacks. So they go ring shopping. I guess it's the same shop that Cordell brought her to get her ring. And she likes the rings. And she was like, well, I love the rings. So why not go there? And I was like, I know that's right, Portia. When you find something you like, you stick with the shit. So they go and they're looking at rings, and then, she's just so happy, and he's happy, and then but she goes off somewhere, and then while she's gone, the lady asks him, so when are you planning on proposing? And he was like, soon. So I'm just like, well, damn, that they're very serious. Um, Keeping on with Portia, Portia's at her house once again in a nice outfit, showing off all her goodies. All her goodies are on display. Um, she's in the house talking to her assistant, who is a very attractive man, I might add, and then her sister. Um, Now, Portia comes up with a really good idea that while Nini's in Miami, she'll be there too. Why not invite all the ladies to go to Miami and meet up with Nini to support Nini and be there for her, considering that Nini's husband Greg has colon cancer, stage 3. First, she calls Cynthia. Cynthia's down. She calls Marlo. I guess Marlo's going to be down too. And then she calls Candy. I don't know why people like to joke with people that they know don't fuck with them, but Portia calls Candy and she's joking and she's like, I was thinking it'd just be me and you and we ride down together. And Candy's just like, I don't know about that. Then Portia's like, ha ha ha, he, I'm just kidding. Everybody's going. And Candy's like, okay, I guess Candy's down too. Everybody's going. Um, Portia, she goes to Swag Boutique, which I guess is Nini's boutique. She comes in and, they're trying on clothes and she's shaking her ass and shaking her titties. Once again, body on display and it looks nice. So we're not complaining over here, right? Is anybody complaining that Portia's body was on display the whole episode? So she is trying to cheer up Nene because Nene's husband has cancer. Like I said, briefly we'll go over to Nene. She had a prayer meeting to lift Greg's spirits. Greg started crying because he didn't know if he was gonna make it out alive for the surgery. He left a note to Nene and Brent saying, I love you. Brent the whole time was looking crazy. I'm like, you on TV. Can you at least cry? Can you smile? Just the whole time, just a blank expression on Brent's face. And I swear that in some instances, it looked like that Brent's eyes were going in opposite directions. I was just like, what's going on here, Brent? Brent, come on, Brent. So after Brent After all that, they're at the boutique. Portia's trying to cheer her up or whatever. I guess they're making plans to go to Miami. Portia's like, how are you doing? Like, are you really good? Nene just like, I'm taking it day by day. And I'm just like, okay, Nene. So we going down the street and knock on Candy's door to see what she got going on. And Candy's in LA. She's getting honored for Escape for the XP's award. Apparently, Candy felt some kind of way a while back about how she felt like Escape didn't get the recognition that they should have gotten, even though they had platinum albums and top 10 singles. And that's true. We hear about, In Vogue, Destiny's Child, we hear about TLC, but we don't really hear about Escape. But Candy feels like, better late than never is what they say. So she feels like, even though she didn't really get the recognition back then, she's glad she's getting it now. I agree. And she feels like they're more successful than they were back in the day. And I feel like, well, how can that possibly be? Because back in the day, y'all were having number one albums, number one hits on the radio, top 10 singles. I guess tour wise, maybe they're bringing in more of a profit, and that's what Candy is referring to. Because touring is usually the bulk of the money anyway. So I'm happy for Candy. Candy meets up with the family. It's the whole family and Don Juan. I'm just like, well, is Don Juan family? Like, it just seems like Don Juan is everywhere they're at. Like, is he a nanny? Like, what's going on? Like, it just seemed out of place for Don Juan to be at a family dinner. But they're all talking. Candy, for some reason, wants another baby. You would think that she would just be happy with Ace and Riley and her new stepdaughter, because she's busy and she's doing a lot of things. But you can tell that Candy really wants another baby for some reason. And Riley is just like, y'all never here. And when y'all not here, I'm watching the baby. Because I feel like that's what happens. I feel like either Don Juan is the nanny to that baby, or Riley is stuck watching the baby while they're away. Either way, Riley's just like, no, ma'am, y'all don't need no kids. And Kenny was like, but I thought you wanted a little sister. And Riley was like, not after how I seen how y'all raise kids. When I was young, you were always there. But for some reason, when it comes to Ace and raising Ace, girl, you're nowhere to be found. You're never here. And I was like, Riley, you got a smart ass mouth. But you know what? Speak your truth, Riley. Speak your truth. We go on to Cynthia, and she's just, this season she's rented another boyfriend, another fake relationship. I feel like it's fake. I fast forwarded through a lot of what Cynthia was going through, so I don't really know. I don't really feel Cynthia as far as her being on the show. I don't dislike Cynthia. I like Cynthia, but I don't feel like she's a strong enough character to be on the show, in my opinion. But Cynthia, she was there talking to this guy. He's a Mike Hill. He is on Fox Sports News or whatever. And just like, and then she met him from Steve Harvey. So I'm just like, well, what is it with Steve Harvey, Cynthia? Like, why do you only get your boyfriends from Steve Harvey? Like, what's that all about? I don't get it. I don't get it. I just rolled my eyes her whole segment because it just seems really fake to me. We'll see if they're together next year, if it's authentic or not. So let's drive on down to Eva Marcel's townhouse. You guys, Eva, is it just me, or is Eva Marcel's husband slash fiance right now? He's cute. He's attractive, but in a goofy kind of way. And he's a goofy dude. He's like my type. Like, I like funny dudes. Like, I really vibe with funny guys who can make you laugh and shit. So they're at a photo shoot, and it's a family photo shoot, and Eva is in her element. At one point, they usher the family off, and she's doing her photo shoot, and she's just giving you smiles and hair flip, and she's leaning back and the leg is forward. I'm just like, okay, America's Next Top Model, Eva Marcel. Now, at one point, she shades Cynthia. I guess somebody asked her what's the difference between her and Cynthia's modeling style. She says about 20 years. And I'm just like, not so fast, Eva. I know you're not shading legendary Cynthia Bailey. She's up there with Naomi Campbell, right? Isn't she? Isn't she? Um, and also, now, Eva says that Michael is Marley's only dad she's ever known, but Marley's has a famous dad too, and I could have sworn that he was in her life too. So I don't know if Eva's being shady, but I just know that you don't play like that. Like, you don't do that if you know that that man is in his child's life. But I don't know Eva's life, so maybe she knows something that I don't know. It's very likely she knows something that I don't know. So let me bounce off that. So Portia and Dennis, they are in the car on the way to Miami. I think they're in Miami on the way to their hotel. Portia's asking him a whole lot of questions. Once again, she's just being silly. I was smiling the whole time. I'm so happy for her, you guys. It's like, how, like, after watching this episode, like, how could you not like Portia? You know what I'm saying? So she's asking him about the girls. She's like, you know what? I'm cool with everybody except these two bitches. One of them is Marlo Hampton. He's like, do you know who Marlo Hampton is? And he's like, no. And I'm just like, that's because Marlo goes after the rich white men, honey. She go after the billionaires, the Ted Turners and the Donald Trumps and shit. She ain't fucking with no black entrepreneurial niggas. And then she asked her about Candy. Now, I found it a little bit strange that he knew Candy, but he did not know how he knew Candy. He couldn't explain where he met Candy. I found that a little bit sketchy. Some red flags went off in my head. I'm like, you're hiding something. So they go to the hotel. It's a nice little suite or whatever. Is it an Airbnb? I don't really know. But it was nice. There was rose petals and there was pink rose petals. And I was just like, that's pretty cool because usually they use red rose petals, but he used pink. I'm like, okay, Dennis, you trying some new shit. I fucks with it. So they're in the bedroom and he's like, wait here and I'll come back. And Portia's like, oh my God. She's getting up and she's checking her hair and shit, checking her ass and her titties, and, making sure she looks good so that when he proposes, she looks her best. So he comes back with some box and it's a to be continued.